the press conference Zoom schedule with our head coaches, with Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M. Good morning, Coach.
His first win and a win for the SWAC versus the MEAC. So congratulations, Coach. Great job, man. Yeah, camp, man. You know, it's finally here. Football season's here. Everybody's excited, and you know, it's of course, fam kicked off last week, and now everybody else get to play this week. So we all excited. You know, get a chance to hit somebody else for the first time, and you know, you kind of tired of hitting your own selves and getting little scrumbles and things of that nature. So, you know, a lot of hard work, and we still got a lot more work to do this week to get ready to go down to Auburn and play SEC program. He's doing a good job down there with those guys. So we know it's going to be tough. You know, you're playing up money game. So we're excited about it. We want to be competitive as long as we can. But at the end of the day, we want to get out of there healthy, not lose any of our players that so we can compete during the season. So we're looking forward to it. Exciting.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Maynor. If you do have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature here on Zoom to get your question in the queue. Floor is now open for questions for Coach Maynor. Coach, you obviously spoke of the desire to go out there and compete while also keeping your team healthy for the upcoming season. What'll kind of be your philosophy as far as reps for your team?
Well, like I said, we want to be competitive as long as we can. So as long as the game is competitive, we're going to keep playing our guys. And that means we got a chance to win the football game. It's competitive. So if it start to get out of hand, then we'll start making some subs and getting those guys out of there, get everybody else a chance to play. And again, at the end of the day, just try to keep everybody healthy, man. Play as long as we can. Kind of, we're going to learn something about ourselves, what we are good at, what we're not so good at, even though we're playing up. But you know, you always can learn from it, and then you make your biggest adjustment from game one to game two. So we just ready to get on the road and play a football game.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach Maynor.
Good morning, Charles. How you doing?
I wanted to ask, what were your biggest observations from camp going into this upcoming game?
Well, we know we got a new DC and we got a new defense, so I was really keen on watching those guys and see how they develop. And they seem to pick up the defense very well. He was here in the spring, so that helped out too. But then we added some players, some freshmen, and some transfers that came in during camp. So those guys had to get adjusted to the new defense. And, you know, they had the good days and had the bad days, and so it's still a learning curve. And we just got to fly around, try to get all 11 men to the ball. Offensively, offensive line is you know, what we're gonna have to lean on this year. We got the most returning starters there. Receivers will be fine, and running backs, of course, we got Donovan Eagle. I think we got a good running back room, and tight ends are solid. The quarterback position, of course, is always a question mark, and we got a couple guys that we think we're gonna play this week. Cornelius Brown and Avion Smith, and then Xavier Lamp will still be in the mix also.
Quick follow-up question. You talked about your offensive line, but how much do you look forward to this offensive line going up against an SEC counterpart?
I look forward to it. I want to see how we hold up against those guys. We have the size. Now we got to see if we got the stamina and the depth. So it'll be interesting because we are pretty big up front, and I want to see how we hold up against these guys.
Sure thing, Coach. Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
How you doing, Coach Maynor? Doc Holliday, HBCU Overdrive.
I'm good, Doc. How you doing, man?
Man, just waking up. The big question for this week, who will be your starter as quarterback?
We're probably going to go with Cornelius Brown, but Avion Smith will get some reps, and you'll probably see Xavier also.
Okay. And a follow-up question. We all talk about when it comes down to big money games about health and making sure your team is healthy for the next game. What are you trying to do? What are some things that you're trying to implement for your players in order for them to be healthy for the next game and more likely for the whole season?
Well, we're gonna play hard. We're gonna play hard. I'm gonna try to slow it down just a little bit. Slow that game down. Minimize the reps and see how long we can stay competitive again. And if we can play with them, we're gonna keep playing with them. Start to get out of control too early. We're gonna make some changes and make sure we got our guys for the long run.
Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck today.
Thanks, sir.
Currently taking questions for Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M. Any final questions for Coach? All right, we've got a question from Kendrick Marshall.
Hey, Coach. It seems like you're going to be playing a lot of guys this weekend against an FBS opponent. What do you hope to learn about your team coming out in week one?
Just the ability to fight, not give up, keep fighting, and just see how tough we are. To see how we are. See what our strengths are. See what our weaknesses are. How we match up against Auburn and the SEC opponents. So you can always learn from these games. The things that we do well against them will probably mean that we're pretty good at those things. The things that we don't do well probably mean that we need to improve in those areas. So, of course, it's a money game, but at the end of the day, we got to watch the tape and try to get better. Even if it was a D2 game and we dominate, we still have things that we can get out of the tape and learn from and get better at. So you're never going to play a perfect game. You always going to try. So you just got to take the things that they mess up on and see what we need to improve at game situations. Which that's me, but making sure the guys understand those things and just go from there.
And a quick follow-up, Coach. You mentioned you likely going to play multiple quarterbacks in this game. How much of their performance will determine who gets the main reps with the ones going throughout the regular season?
Well, it depends on who gets the rep when. If you get the reps against the starting defense of Auburn and you weren't very successful, then they put their third team in, and then that quarterback comes in and move the ball a couple of drives and things of that nature. That's not evenly matched. So it just all depends on who gets the reps against what teams and where's the game at that point. And so we're gonna try to, get both guys in there early, and so they can be evaluated against the same talent and make it a fair competition.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
Any final questions for Coach Maynor with Alabama A&M? All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, we're a few minutes ahead of schedule for Coach Eddie Robinson with Alabama State. So we will pause here just momentarily. We'll be back. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, for all of our media participants, if you do have a question for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please wait to be acknowledged prior to asking your questions, and please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we do have additional time slotted in our coaches' availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's it going?
Doing great, Coach. Appreciate you asking. Coach, obviously coming out of fall camp, getting ready for the upcoming season. If you could just kind of give us your thoughts on camp and heading into week 1.
Yeah, I mean, the guys really competed both sides of the ball, special teams. That was the biggest thing. Had a couple injuries, but nothing major to the older guys. A couple young guys got banged up. Wanted to be real physical in camp, and that's our philosophy. So now we have to go out here for the first game and put that on tape, and that's what we want to be. We have to make that our identity. So that was the goal to go into camp, was to be more physical, to see who could hit, who can execute plays, and I think we found that out. So now we have to go in front of the real deal, and we'll see. Hopefully that'll carry over to the first game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Robinson. Once again, if you do have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Floor is now open for questions. All right, first question goes to Doc Holliday.
Morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Good morning. How's it going?
I'm doing good. First game this weekend in Miami, Florida. What are you going to tell your team as far as with the distractions go when going down to Miami?
Yeah, we have probably, other than the state of Alabama, we probably have 24, 25 kids from the state of Florida, about 12 or 13 from the South Florida area, Miami Central High School. So a lot of them are going back home. So that's the biggest thing, is to make sure that they're focused on the football game. It's not a pleasure trip. So we've already started that conversation. You know, we're part of the entertainment. So it's our job to go down there and play a game and play hard and try to get a W.
All right. And you're going to be introducing a new offense with your new offensive coordinator, Cris Barnett, and with a new QB in Andrew Body. How are you going to go ahead try to feature Body, but kind of keep him, I won't say keep him on the rest, just make sure that he plays a good, clean game?
Well, that's the offensive line, and those guys have been practicing hard. You know, we have about a good group of guys that have competed and still trying to figure out who's going to be the guys. And of course, you know, it's a little bit of mix and match. They got to play together and that type of deal. And you find more out of it when you're going against live bullets with real competition. But for the most part, you know, he has to be smart. All of our quarterbacks, they have to make good decisions. Don't take the extra hits. You know, sometimes you have on a red jersey in practice and you start holding the ball a little too long. So we've been talking about that and just being smart at the end of running plays and that type of deal. But it's everybody's job to make sure that the quarterback stays upright.
All right. Appreciate you, Coach. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Currently taking questions for Coach Robinson with Alabama State. All right, next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. You guys will be playing arguably the best Black college football team over the last 3 or 4 years in North Carolina Central. What kind of litmus test is this for your ball club playing against a team of this caliber in a game like you guys are playing on Saturday?
Yeah, it's always good when you start off the season playing a good team and they're picked to finish first in the MEAC. And so that means that they're going to expose some of our weaknesses. They'll show guys who we thought could do it and maybe they can't. And so that's what you want. So you get that out the way early. Hopefully you can still get out there with a W. And the biggest thing is you want the guys to go down there and compete. FAMU, you had a big win in the MEAC SWAC Challenge, so that's the third win in a row for the SWAC. If you keep a score at home, and so now we get another chance to play against a MEAC school. So we know the conferences are always playing that Celebration Bowl at the end of the year. So I think it's going to be a SWAC versus MEAC deal. And Trey Oliver is big on representing the MEAC, and of course I'm huge on representing the SWAC. So I think you have that aspect of it too, besides it just being two pretty good teams and just going to go down there and compete. I mean, we'll show some things that they're going to have to improve on, and they're going to expose some of our weaknesses also, which is the good thing when you're playing a good team early in the year.
Yeah, this game, Coach, has been billed as a battle of the number one in the MEAC and many believe that your ball club is going to be one of the top contenders in the SWAC. What have you told your team about expectations and how to handle them going into a game and season like this for you guys?
Yeah, I think you just win today. That's been our motto. We picked that up about halfway through the season last year, and we've just stuck with it. We can't control the whole football season. All we could do is win practice on Monday. We go out there on Tuesday. Let's have a great Tuesday. So we go out there and win each day, and then just give ourselves an opportunity to win on Sunday. And that's what we're looking at it. We don't look at a big picture. We look at a very small picture approach. Win the day, get the treatment, go to class, do all those things right. And then on Sunday, just go out there and play hard. You give yourself a chance to be in the game.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Next question goes to Mickey Clayton.
Morning, Coach. Mickey Clayton, Inside Sports. How you doing?
Doing well. How's it going?
It's going great. Coach, you're going down to Miami, Florida. Extremely hot, and it's been hot. How do you prepare your team for that heat that you're going to have? And do you take anything extra with you on the sideline to help those guys?
Yeah, I mean, you have the different rehydration, tools that you can bring down there, the Powerade, those type of things. You need a little bit more than just water, so we understand that. I've been pretty much, I'm a weather guy, so I'm always letting them know, hey, it's a high of 88, low of 80, 55% chance of rain. So we know the weather conditions. We prepare for them. It's been pretty hot here in Alabama also. So we've had a couple practices at that 2 o'clock mark. And so to try to get used to the heat. And the biggest thing is you have to push yourself and make it uncomfortable in the summer. And so that way you'll be prepared for the first game. So hopefully that won't be a problem, but we'll definitely have the items available in case it just is one of those type of typical Miami days. It'll probably rain and then get super hot afterwards, but we just have to be prepared for it. It'll be hot on both sidelines. That's what I tell the kids.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Morning, Coach.
Good morning.
I wanted to ask this question in regards to North Carolina Central's quarterback, Walker Harris. Limited body of work, but we have seen some of the things that he was able to do against Mississippi Valley. But the question is, from your observation, from your film study, what are your observations of Walker Harris?
I mean, he's a dangerous guy, in my opinion. He knows the offense extremely well. With the whole transfer portal and kids moving from school to school, you got to give that young man credit for staying there and sticking it out and playing behind an All-American quarterback. His skill set is somewhat different, but you do know he can execute the offense. He will hit an open receiver. He'll know it just like the coaches know it. And he's been in it, and he's waiting for his chance and his opportunity. So we have to prepare for him like he is the guy. And I think that's what our guys looked at when we saw the Mississippi Valley tape. And even though it's not a lot of game action, I mean, you can tell that he was very comfortable in that football game. So now going into the season as a starter, taking all of those number 1 reps, I mean, we have to be prepared for a guy who can go out there and beat us if we don't get pressure on him and do the things we're supposed to do defensively.
Sure thing. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Currently taking questions for Coach Robinson with Alabama State. Any final questions for Coach? All right, Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we are a few minutes ahead of schedule for Coach Cedric Thomas with Alcorn State, so we will pause here just for a minute or so, and we'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, for all of our media participants, if you do have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we do have additional time slotted in our coaches' availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Cedric Thomas with Alcorn State. Good morning, Coach. Coach, I think you went on mute there. Give me 1 second. If you could
Yes, sir. Morning, morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Coach. And want to tell you we saw the hustle there to get over here for this Zoom session, Coach. So
Man,
we appreciate that.
yeah, it is Monday, man. It threw me off. We normally have off because Thursday. It threw me off, man. I apologize.
Yes, sir. No problem. Glad you were able to join us. Coach, if you could please just start us out with the opening comments, just kind of assessing your team coming out of fall camp and going into week one.
I thought for the most part, those guys really adjusted to the new wave of new things that we want them to do, inside of the 17, 18 practices. Got out healthy. That was the most important part. And so offensively got a new OC in, and conceptually you've seen some retention from those days of practice. So that was good. Defensively kind of the same deal, but Coach Rogue had a chance and a great opportunity to add his stamp and his imprint on on the defensive side, and from a kicking game standpoint, kind of broke some things up. So, I thought we got what we wanted out of camp. Now it's just time to use this Thursday as a litmus to kind of see, where we are and, what phases can we get better at.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We want to put the floor up for questions for Coach Thomas. Once again, if you do have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Floor is now open for questions. First question goes to Lionel Mosby.
Hey, Coach Thomas, how are you?
Oh, I'm blessed. How about yourself?
Doing well. So we know Tyler Macon last year was able to win the starting job, right? Got injured. Now Aaron Allen came in and took you guys the rest of the way. Coming into this fall season, how do you feel he's progressed just as a quarterback through the spring, summer, and also fall camp that you look and see that, okay, I see that he's prepared for this upcoming fall season?
One was just, taking care of football. He's played inside the system, done a really good job, when his legs, when things break down, but you could just see the maturity standpoint of how he handles the team, how he deals with adverse situations. But the biggest thing, ultimately was him taking care of football. And so we're excited about, him starting things off. But we're also excited about, Xavier Vaughn. He'll see some action. In the game as well. We're just in a really good situation where we got two guys that we feel like can lead us. And so we just wanted to start with Tyler. Just he's been here. He's got a really good grasp of the system, and he's done an amazing job taking care of football.
And just a follow-up question. Obviously, it's not your first rodeo as a head coach. What is something that you've learned at your previous stops? You say, hey, I'm going to implement this specifically, now here at Alcorn as the head coach that maybe before, I let slip past, my hands.
Just having an input, and not taking things for granted that grown people know. I assumed a couple of times that a few coaches in leadership roles understood and knew. So I sit in the meetings, as if I'm still a coordinator on both sides, on all three phases. And that's something that I didn't do, my first go round. So I'm in it. From a coordinator standpoint, defensively, I kind of just, still game plan as if I'm going to call it, even though I know Coach Rowe will handle that. From an offensive standpoint, I sit in and throw darts on the board versus those guys, and challenge them what ifs and different scenarios. And from a special teams standpoint, just helping Coach Welch put it all together. And so that's been the biggest transition for me on this go round, where before I kind of let some things slip through the crack, just not knowing.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, sir.
Currently taking questions for Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, you talked Arkansas Pine Bluff. How much of that experience then is kind of help shaping your approach going into this season?
There's a lot. It's a real foundational piece of what I do and who I am, and what type of program and culture that I want to establish and to maintain. And so we know what it looks like. The good thing is I've been here, this is my third time. And so, right is right. I don't have to fix right. It's just some things that I can do to get to righteous, to make it better and enhance it. But, I don't have to do a whole bunch. This culture has been great. It's just some tweaking, some things that we got to do to get back to those glory days. And I think I got some ingredients to help with that. Got a really good staff that understands that, and a good group of kids that understand what that mission and vision look like. So not only the UAPB, background, but Mississippi Delta. Here we playing on a Thursday, and I come from a junior college sector where we played on Thursday. So just going back on those laws and being able to go to some of the practice schedules and scripts, that's kind of got us situated now. And so both of those stops has really helped me this go round here at this great institution.
As a quick follow-up, Coach, your team was predicted in SWAC Media Day to win the West Division. How have you kind of tried to help your ball club manage those expectations as they head into the season?
Just the biggest one of the things is seeing Florida State lose. Like for me, they just numbers and they just predictions. And I just constantly tell them guys, we don't know. We don't know what everybody else got. We hadn't played anybody. So for somebody to say that you're projected number one, don't take too much stock in that. We'll see where the chips fall. We're looking at post awards, and so we just work regardless of who we going against, and who we line up against, who we practicing against. We just got to have that mentality, continue to get better. But you can't tell them to stay off social media. That's the day and time. We just try to handle things in house with our mission and vision to get them to understand that, regardless of who we playing against, we don't know where we at until we get a chance to be able to use a litmus to gauge that. And so right now that starts off with UAB. And we're looking to go put a good product out the field to see, how these 18 days stacked up against us coming out playing well.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Give us a little bit of a preview of this UAB team, a team that's had a little bit of turnover, but they finished 18th in the nation in terms of passing last year. But the offensive line struggled, giving up a couple of sacks a game. Are there some things that play into Alcorn's advantage coming into this game?
That's going to start with Malachi Bailey. I like these games. I know it's money implementations behind it or implications behind it. However, it's still evaluation. We got two kids with three that's playing in the league now. And, they're gonna look at these guys for Malachi and guys like that. So Malachi got to, do a really good job of stressing those tackles, on the edge, him and Kayvon Henderson. So from an offensive line standpoint, if we can get some pressure on the quarterback and not get knocked off the ball, we'll have a chance on the back end. We got some, a really good quarterback that's cool, calm, and collective in the pocket, kind of put you in the mind of the Shador-ish. When you're talking about from a numerical standpoint, from an analytics standpoint, also, 70% or close to it in percentages, that says he's efficient with the football. And so we got to do a good job up front, attacking the O-line. And, do a really good job changing some looks up because he's a savvy quarterback, so that's what we got to do, and attack that offense to try to have some success. So that's all with the guys up front. We're expecting, us Gideon Spiville, Kayvon Henderson, and Malachi Bailey, Stamarian Edwards, to kind of get after it from a defensive standpoint to give us a chance.
Sure thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Currently taking questions for Coach Thomas with Alcorn State. Final questions for Coach. Coach, once again, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yes, sir. All right, we now go to Bethune-Cookman. Coach Woodie, we are maybe a minute or two ahead of schedule, so we'll pause here momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Once again, if you do have a question for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get a question in the queue. I do think we have Coach with us. Coach, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I can't see your video, Coach.
Okay. Hey, Coach. Can you come here?
Pause here for a second while we try to get Coach's video feed there working. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience. Yep, there it is, Coach. All right, appreciate that, Coach.
No problem.
All right, once again, if you do have questions, utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue for Coach. With that being said, so happy to be joined by Coach Woodie with Bethune-Cookman. Coach, if you could just start us out with your thoughts with your team coming out of camp and going into week 1 of competition.
Just really excited, having an opportunity to, go through camp, and obviously being excited to be, back on the show. It's just good to see the team doing what you asked them to do. And what we said last year, we spoke with the team and told them everything that we were all about. Now you kind of see the guys, taking a role of being a player-led team. So they understand the thing. They know what we expect as a coaching staff.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. We'll now open up for questions for Coach Woodie. Once you do have a question, please utilize the raise your hand feature. First question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Good morning. Outstanding. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Big question of the week. Who is QB number 1?
Well, we have, 2 guys, that's battling right now, Luke Sprague and Michael Boynes, and we're not going to name that guy until Wednesday. We want to keep, the competition real. And like I said, they've been battling back and forth. And, we have guys that do well in certain packages. So, we want to make that determination in the next couple of days.
All right. And one more question, going up against FBS team this weekend, how are you preparing your guys to basically stay healthy?
Well, obviously we always say it's the most important game because it's the next game on our schedule. We really can't worry about that. I mean, we got to play as hard as we can, as fast as we can, and as long as we can, and don't worry.
I appreciate you for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Only taking questions for Coach Woodie with Bethune-Cookman. All right, next question goes to Lana Mosby.
How you doing, Coach Woodie?
Outstanding.
I want to ask you, your team, when you look at last year, we definitely looked at a team that obviously played extremely hard, fought to the end, was in a lot of games. What is it that you're doing to establish that culture there at Bethune-Cookman?
Well, we tell the guys, we use the term come to work and go to work. And if you want a job, you have to go and take your job. If you have a job, you got to keep it or somebody's going to get it, and they realize that it's nothing going to be given to them. I mean, I know it's a lot of things that's been put in place for guys to get this or get that. We tell them we want you to appreciate the opportunity to love the game and play it like you love the game. And we create competition as far as going out recruiting guys that's going to come in and take your job. So, we tell the guys all the time, people with their hand out, they're not going to make it in this world. You got to come to work and go to work, and you got to make sure that every single day you put on your A game, because there's somebody always there to take your job, including me.
No, that's big. And I just a follow-up question. I know last year, obviously, statistically, for your offense was a real struggle. Only 260 yards total, 134 yards through the air. What has changed schematically or personnel wise that has you excited about this year that this offense is really going to pop off in this fall?
Well, we have to be able to run the ball, and you go from after signing day, last February when administration hired me, we go from 8 offensive linemen to 17 now. So we got a good amount of depth up front, and obviously our running backs are excited about those guys are pushing people off the ball, and obviously we have to take care of the ball because at the end of the day, it's all about technique, fundamentals, attention to detail equals the coordination of the play. If we do those things, we have a chance.
Thank you so much, Coach Woodie.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Mickey Clayton.
Good morning, Coach. Mickey Clayton from Insight Sports. How you doing?
Outstanding. How you doing?
I'm great, Coach. I'm great. This season, how much better prepared are you knowing that you've made a run through the SWAC and more prepared or feeling more prepared with this season? What's the difference in how you approach this season?
Well, like I said earlier, these players, they expect to win, obviously coming in with the staff. The players didn't know us and we didn't know them, coming in after signing day, so we was blessed to be given players to coach, but now, we had an opportunity to go out and recruit guys that fit our scheme on offense, defense, and special teams, so we're excited, about the new season, and the guys realized that what we had, we worked and we was in every game, but at the end of the day, it's not a spot for second place. I mean, anytime we go and compete, we want to be on top.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
Good morning, Coach Woodie.
Good morning.
Let's take a look at USF, and everything kind of starts from an offensive standpoint with Byron Brown. Only other player than Jalen Daniels last year who threw for 3,000 yards and also rushed for 800 yards. But I wanted to ask, what's sort of the plan of attack when you have a quarterback who can put pressure on the defense from a throwing and running perspective?
Well, again, it all goes back to the 5 A's: alignment, assignment, making adjustment, and understanding the alerts, and then the attack phase. But when you put all that together with the technique and the fundamentals and attention to detail, that coordination of the play will be on the positive end. And he's an outstanding player. I mean, he has an NFL arm, and he can make plays with his feet, with his arm, and also his football savviness. So, we got to come ready to go and just putting ourselves in a position where if he's going to complete passes, but we got to make sure we put guys down and not give up the explosive plays, something that we really worked on this fall camp that we gave up too many last year. So, I mean, if we do those things, we have a shot.
Sure thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Earlier you mentioned that you told your team that, they couldn't be comfortable because there will be some guys looking to take their job, and you mentioned yourself in that as well. How much urgency is there from your standpoint of having a much better season this year than you guys did last year?
Well, we're going to do the things the right way, and we tell the guys 2 words: do right and then prove it. So these guys, they understand where we at with the program. They know that people have been recruited to come in and take their jobs, so they're playing at a different level, So we're excited about the players. It's all about the players, right? They understand our philosophy, and then obviously going out trying to execute what we're asking them to do.
You spoke about recruitment as well. What do those recruits bring to your ball club that you acquired during the offseason? How do they change the dynamic of your program?
Well, depth, and then the pieces that we needed, obviously, it's going to help us down the road, because when you go in and when you have a certain amount of guys and don't have the guys behind them to push, it's no realization of getting better quickly. Now they realize that, hey, if I don't go out and do my job and the next guy doing their job, then my job may be taken, you know. So I just think overall it's going to help the overall picture, because going into games like this or any game, you know, that number 2 guy is just a play away from being a starter. So I believe iron sharpens iron, and we're excited where we're at this point.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Got time for one final question. That'll go to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Daytona are well. This young fella, C.J. Brooks, the quarterback from Orlando who transferred portal VUL. When you think about C.J., what have you had a chance to see out of him?
Well, you know, coming in obviously late, you know, and we're blessed to have him. When he's had an opportunity, you know, obviously polishing up on his technique and fundamentals, but he's been a pleasant surprise, you know, and he's, like I say, he's young, he's smart. He just has to keep working, you know, and he's going to be able to hopefully one day, you know, lead the Wildcats out on the field and be that star right now. Right now, he's working, he's fighting, he's just a little bit behind, but he's definitely a guy that can play at this level well.
Coach, Saturday, a great opportunity at Raymond James Stadium. Just talk about the Wildcats mentality going in.
Well, we're going in because it's, like I say, it's the next game on our schedule, and it's the most important. With that being said, technique, fundamentals, attention to detail, coordination of the play, and we're gonna go there and work just like we come to work every day. You know, they got a really good football team, and I feel like we do as well. So we're gonna go in and fight. And like I say, with a bigger school like that and a really good program, you know, we cannot give up explosive plays. We can't have our self-inflicted penalties. You know, we just got to play a clean game and do the little things right.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week.
You too. Thank you.
Coach Woodie, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you. Appreciate you all.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We now go to Florida A&M. Coach Colzie, I do believe we have Coach with us. Once again, if you do have any questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we do have additional time allotted in our coach's availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Colzie. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Coach. Coach, obviously you got a jump start on your season playing in week 0 against Norfolk State in the MEAC SWAC Challenge. Coach, if you could please just talk a little bit about that game and recap just kind of what you felt like from your team's performance.
Well, I asked for a little adversity, you know, to see how our team would respond and / react, and I wasn't really expecting that. But obviously getting a chance to line up. You know, got quite a few new guys that you know that played under the lights, and you know, we saw some things that we didn't necessarily prepare for because you had a little bit of a level of unknown, especially with them having a new offensive coordinator and them obviously having another 7 to 8 months to prepare for us. But love the way our guys persevered. Love the way we came to the sidelines and made the proper adjustments. And you know, we got down 14-0. You know, our offense went down there and scored. And I often say, a good team's answer. So we did that, and obviously fighting at the end offensively, having the ball with six minutes and some change left on the clock, and working our 4-minute, I guess now we'll call it our 6-minute offense of not allowing Norfolk State to get the ball back. So pleased to win. Excited, to be 1-0, and we were. I thought our guys played well, but biggest improvement will be from how we played game 2 compared to how we played on this past Saturday.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody on the highest of 7 hills are well. When you think about the thought process going into your first game as head coach at Bragg this week, coming off a victory in Atlanta, talk a little bit about going into the South Carolina State game.
Well, another scenario where, you got, as opposed to one new offensive coordinator that we had last week, now you got an entirely different staff. Obviously just, hearing about what Coach Perry's accomplished, the last few years at Benedict as the head coach, and then his amazing accomplishments he's had as a coordinator throughout his tenure of the place he's been. You know, they're going to come in and they're going to be hard nosed. They're going to be disciplined. They're going to do the things necessary to win. You know, now he's probably doing on a little bit of a bigger stage as the head coach. So, you know, there's some things that, you know, we have to prepare for, just because of the attitude of the head coach, but with also knowing that there's going to be some unknown. There's going to be some things that they'll probably run that we might not necessarily prepare for as much as we should, or we would know to run or know to prepare for. But, you know, we're excited. Trust me, it's a heck of a lot easier playing our home opener at 1-0 than it would have been at 0-1.
Thank you, sir. Have a great week.
Hey, thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Coach, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Doc?
First of all, I want to congratulate you on your first NCAA victory on Saturday. My first question is, how teams to South Carolina State to run on you like Norfolk did as far as giving up 200 yards?
Say what it is. They ran it down our throat early in the ball game. Say what it is. And I mean, hey, you know, listen, for us as a team, our philosophy is to be able to run the football and stop the run, you know, and we feel if we do both those things, we got a very, very good chance of winning. Ultimately, this past Saturday, we did not, right? And that put us in the situation that we were at, you know, late into this football game. So, you know, we had some guys that, you know, we had a new nose guard, right? We had 2 new linebackers, you know, and ultimately they took advantage of some of our inexperience. So, you know, we got back to our basics, you know, late in ball, you know, late in the second quarter and the remainder of the second half, where we stopped all the movement and we just lined up and played. And ultimately, you probably should have been able to do that maybe a little bit sooner. But, you know, we calmed ourselves down. You know, people better realize, you know, we were playing on ABC, you know, but some of these guys, this was some of the most playing time they had, especially coming from the universities that they were at. So, you know, not much is going to change for us as far as preparation. You know, we just got to hunker down and take care of the details. You know, we were misaligned quite a few times, right? So, you know, sometimes it wasn't what happened during the play. It was just our initial. So,
And I got one follow-up question. Daniel Richardson, he kind of looked shaky in the first half, and then in the second half, he came alive, knowing that you know he could do as far as being the quarterback. What was the thing that you told him as far as the difference between the first half and to the second half of the game?
Well, you know, we were learning each other too, right? You know, Coach Henry and as our offensive coordinator, Coach Patterson as our defensive coordinator, you know, they're learning how to field the game as well, right? And amongst with new players, right? I mean, you know, there is that, you know, there is a little bit of a sense of unknown how they were going to handle things. And, you know, ultimately when we came out in the second half, man, I just told Daniel, let's turn it loose. Like, hey man, trust your training, right? He's got one of the best quarterback coaches in the country. Trust your training and turn the ball loose. Throw the football, right? So, you know, we had that throw late, maybe in the second quarter, we had that slant route in the end zone and he lobbed it. You know what I mean? Daniel Richards got a great arm. He's got great accuracy. He needed to zip that sucker in where it should have been a touchdown. You know, so just again, trust what you've been doing throughout training camp, spring practice. Those are the things that we want you to fall back on. Fall back on the teachings that you've had. So he did that. You know, obviously, you know, we ended up with being named the MVP. Had a great game. You know, I think the biggest thing that I asked from that position is to get rid of the football, which I thought he did a very, very good job of, and then making sure we take care of the football, which I also thought he did a very, very good job of as well.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Mickey Clayton.
Good morning, Coach. Mickey Clayton, Inside Sports. Congratulations on that first win
Thank you.
as head coach at Florida A&M, and for the coaching adjustments you made as the game went on. What I want to ask you about is Kendall Bowler, the NFL prospect that you have. What does he do, and what do you expect for him going forward? Because he's high on a lot of lists with the NFL.
Well, I think the biggest thing for him, you know, when I first got here in 22, we had him at safety. You know, we played North Carolina and Jackson State, and he was playing our field safety position. And obviously, after about the third or fourth game of the 22 season, you know, then we made the adjustment and made the change, and he's been a corner ever since. You know, he had the luxury of having his older brother here, you know, and so he didn't necessarily have to save. He didn't have to save very much. Then you go back to the 23 season where you got Javon Morgan, you got Eric Smith, Lovey Jenkins, guys that again took leadership roles. And all Kendall had to do was just play. Now you're asking a guy who's an NFL prospect. We've had about 12 to 13 teams already here just to see him. You want that guy now to be a leader. And we're going to need that from him. And that's just a guy who's been in it, a guy who's been in big time football games, whether it was at North Carolina or, making big plays at the Celebration Bowl. So, that his experience is going to help a lot of our newer players that are playing, that are in the current position that they're in right now. So that's the one thing. And then obviously, secondly, he's a guy that if I need him to demonstrate drills, he's the ideal guy to do it. And talks them through it. He goes through the preparation as far as what we have to do weekly. So he's
Thank you, Coach, and we appreciate you giving such detailed responses. You thoroughly answer questions. We appreciate it.
Maybe I might be giving too many answers, but I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. You're going to be playing up against a school in South Carolina State that has a brand new head coach in Kenneth Berry. I don't know how much you know about his tendencies or his scheme, but just based on kind of like your observations of Benedict College, if you watch them, what do you think they might do coming out on Saturday? How will you game plan for them?
Well, they want to play fast. They want to run the ball. They're going to give you different formations. Looking at what they did at Benedict when they were going 13-1 last year and obviously losing into the playoffs. So a very, very good football team. But they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be hard nosed, and that's just his mentality and his style. They're going to play great defense. Going to run the ball, and you're looking at a possible low-scoring game, and then whoever makes that mistake at the end, right, will ultimately lose the football game. So that's what we see. Doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen, but I think for us, we got some things that we need to sharpen up on, and offensively, defensively, special teams. I don't think we had our best 11 on the field at times, and that's something that we're definitely going to have to make sure we make that big time adjustment with.
Was that because of, I guess, the game plan not having the best 11, or was that just how the game played out?
You go to goal line, right? Offensively or defensively, offenses normally dictate what defenses do. And there was a couple of times I thought we could have maybe had our best 11 out there. And again, you have to realize who they may be sometimes, right? This is our first game, and who we thought our best 11 was at the time might not necessarily be what it is this past weekend, not this upcoming weekend, excuse me. So, we got about 24 to 25 guys on both sides of the football that could play, that could play like ones. And I don't think we did that as well as we needed to do this past weekend.
Last question goes to Charles Bishop.
Yeah, Coach, real quick, and I kind of wanted to follow up on your point in terms of looking at who your best 11 might be. But I wanted to specifically ask about your rushing attack in this game. Norfolk State's seemingly with their defensive line linebackers were able to do quite a bit in terms of sort of stymieing the rushing game. But going forward, what is it that you're looking to kind of get out of the running back room?
Well, we thought we would be able to, to dominate up front. That was the focal point. We thought we were going to be able to run the football a little bit better than we did, and obviously, and we want, since we had a new quarterback, we thought we wanted to maybe possibly ease him into the football game. And then you get down 14-0, and now it's not 3 and out. We can't go 3 and out anymore. We can't try to establish this run game. So we opened it up a little bit, got a chance to see what Daniel Richard can do, and then he drove us right down the field to make it 14-7 to get that gate, to get that momentum back, or just try to keep that momentum going forward from what Norfolk State had. So obviously, at the end of the game, right, when it was time to run the football, right, and establish and try to end the football game, I thought we did a really, really good job of it. Believe it or not, it was 24-17, and we had all the momentum, and we were getting ready to go down there and look like score again, and that was primarily because of our run game. So we needed to be better in the beginning, and again, Norfolk State did an amazing job, man, to prepare for us. They were doing some different things, and hats off to what they did, and ultimately we made some adjustments that helped us win. But hats off to what Coach Owens and Norfolk State did to try to kind of stymie us in the beginning. And ultimately, look, like I said, and we had a chance to win, and we did. Excited for it, but we definitely have some things that we need to work on.
Good thing. Appreciate that, Coach.
I appreciate you.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Hey, thank you, and for everybody's plan, man. Good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
We now go to Grambling State. Coach Joseph. Once again, if you do have any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we do have additional time and our coach's availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. All right, we're going to try to get Coach's connection here. We'll be back momentarily. Thank you for your patience.
It's not coming. There you go.
Here we go. Okay, I do see that we have Coach there with us. Once again, if you have any questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. With that being said, happy to be joined by Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Coach, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing great, Coach. Appreciate you asking. Coach, if you could just start us out with an opening statement, kind of assessing your team coming out of camp.
Right now, taking over this team, we know we had to do something with the roster, but we wanted to make sure that we evaluated the kids that was already in the building. And so after spring football, we did some evaluations and we parted ways with the guys that we had to part ways with. And we had to get the guys in the building that we thought could help us win. But at the end of the day, looking at this football team, our big thing is what you're willing to do when you head to the practice field, when you head to the classroom, you head to the weight room. Like you said, Mike T says it best that I know a lot of people that know how to do stuff, but what they're willing to do. And we wanted to show improvement every time we hit the practice field and get better because you can't get those days back. So we always talk about stacking days. So that's what our big thing was, just trying to improve from the day we took this team until today.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everybody at Grambling are well. Can you just talk a little bit about your era? It's a brand new era and just bringing in a winner and just competing and guiding this team.
Well, I understood this when I took this job, that this is a pressure cooker, that they expect to win here at Grambling, no matter who's sitting in the chair, that they want to win. But also we had to get the structure back within the program. And I think so far that we're doing a better job with the coaches and the players, of everybody in the whole program getting on the same page. And I tell people this: for you to win a championship, everybody's got to pull on the same side of the rope. That starts in administration all the way down to the athletic department. So we can get that done. I think we can get this thing back on track because there's enough talent out there for everybody. Now, when you do get the talent, it's what you do with the talent. It's how you coaching them, how you treating them, and how everybody across campus treating them. Because you got to understand, when you deal with the transfer portal, you got kids coming in from Group of Five, Power Fives, that they got to get used to the way you do things at your school. And so far, our kids have been receptive to how we do things, and they're excited to be here at Grambling. We're excited to have them.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. A lot of the coaches on this call aren't sure who the #1 quarterback is going to be. Not only for this weekend, but throughout the regular season. But at Grambling, you guys do it in Miles Crawley. He's a very highly touted quarterback, very lauded in FCS circles. How much will you lean on him and his leadership to help you throughout this regular season?
I think, the quarterback plays is a big position. And, most people, if they have a really good quarterback, they usually have a winning record. And we have a good quarterback, but you got to understand, with Miles right now, you take your hat off to him. Miles is in his third system, in 4 years. So it's about Miles, just challenging himself and making sure that he's making the right decision and he's taking care of the football. But we're excited where Miles is at right now. Miles is a different quarterback than we met him. He's a better quarterback now than when we met him. We challenged him on some things on his reads, and he came back and he did exactly what he needed to do, so we're excited about Miles.
Currently taking questions for Coach Joseph with Grambling State. Final questions for Coach. All right, we do have a question. Question goes to James Hill.
Coach, Louisiana, the opportunity to compete and win a game and play a game where people around the state will be looking. Just talk a little bit about that game and what you see from them so far.
Well, Mike does a really good job with them. They have a lot of stability for his wins. They've been in postseason the last couple of years. They've been in that New Orleans Bowl. So they're a well-coached football team. They're really strong up front. They 11, 12 personnel. They want to run the football. They want to play action you. And they have some really good players. And on defense, I think that they're really experienced in the defensive back end. And the guys up front are really good. They had 2 transfers in, one from Arizona State, Ashley Williams, and Fitzgerald, the kid from LSU. So they have some depth in the defensive line, and they're well coached in the special teams. This is a good football team, but it's a great opportunity, for me and the players and the coaches to have this opening game with Lafayette, because this will be a measuring stick for us to see where we're at. Because right now, when you play a game like this, you're coming in undermanned because they have 85 scholarships, we have 63 scholarships, so they have more depth than us. So we got to play really well in all 3 phases of the game to give ourselves a chance. But we're excited about the opportunity, and this, the advantage of playing a team like Lafayette and being in state, that these kids know each other. They played against each other. They scrimmaged a game on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, or they was at camps with each other. So it won't be an intimidation factor like, wow, we never seen him before, because some of these guys were teammates. So we just gonna come out there. We want to compete. We want to play hard, and we want to see where we're at. Like I said, it's a lot of new faces on this team, and I heard Cris just talk about just not having the right people out there at times, and you don't know until you put them out there, and he's right. So we'll know, and like I said, I'm a guy that I put you on a short leash. If you don't get it done, I get you out of there right away before you hurt us. So our kids understand that. So we're looking to play multiple players because, like you said, we got a lot of kids, new faces in here. So we want to see exactly what they can do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. What are you hoping to learn about your defense in this matchup?
Well, we want to be physical. We want to be physical. Physicality's got to be in our DNA. That's what we preach about. That's what we want to do. We know they're going to do a lot of shifts, a lot of motion. So we want to be able to line up. And then, like I told them, I said, once they do all the shift in motion, the ball's got to snap. So then we got to figure out, where my gap at, what man, what coverage I'm in. So we want to be a sound defense. We want to be a defense that's a gap integrity, that we're going to be in that gap. And we say we playing man. We're not peeking at the quarterback. We playing zone. So we want to try to do everything right. We want to cut down the missed assignments. We want to cut out the low. So we definitely don't want any missed tackles.
Last question goes to Lionel Mosby.
Hey, Coach Joseph, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing, Lionel?
I'm doing well. Well, we know Graham has obviously a storied history, but every coach is different, right? What kind of culture are you looking to establish here at Grambling? And what have you been doing to go about to get that established, especially with a lot of new guys coming into the program this year?
Well, I think you like I said before, you got to get the structure back. I think Grambling's going to be Grambling. When Grambling gets off the bus, everybody's going to give them their best shot because you're Grambling. I think the kids have to understand that. And I told the kids, I said, you can't live off the past kill what these guys have done, because you can't take credit for what they have done. You got to go out and get your own kill. I mean, it's a national brand. It's well known, but at the end of the day, we know everybody wants to be Grambling, and we know, hey, we're a target. We're a target because who we are. But at the end of the day, nobody's scared of us. Nobody's intimidated by us. So we got to make sure that we're a really strong football team and a solid football team, a physical football team, and we get this thing back on track. But it's about structure. It's about getting these kids to do what we ask them to do on and off the field. And I think so far, the coaches and the support staff, they're doing a great job of doing that. So we got to continue to raise them. We got to continue to develop them. And I think, once you do that, then I think this thing will get back on track. But we're a long way from that right now.
And just a follow-up question. I know, we hear a lot about Miles Crowley, obviously on the offensive side of the ball as a leader for this program. On the defensive side of the ball, are there any specific guys that you can mention that you're really leaning on, especially early on in this year, to help that unit together to move forward, right, and be what you want to be on defense?
Well, yeah, I think, if you look at Hardy, you look at Jacoby Scott, the 2 D tackles from last year, there's kids that played a number of snaps last year that we really high on right now. I think Andrew Jones played a good bit last year. We want to make sure that he's playing at a high pace. But you got transfers in here. Like you say, you don't know about them. You know that they were good in t-shirts, but I got to see them when these bullets are flying and see what they're going to do. But we're excited about the kids that's in the building. We're just going to continue to coach them up. But I know that the returning guys, we leaning on those guys because they've been there before. They know what it feels like. So we looking at them to bring great leadership to this group and to make sure this group improve every week. And once they do that, then we're gonna be happy for them. But right now, we don't know. And I mean, if anybody said they know about their kids, you really don't know until after you play these kids. The transfer portal, it has you confused, because they're with you for a reason. They're not with you because they played a whole bunch of snaps at their previous school. So you don't know until you put them out there. I'll be to tell you more Sunday morning, but not right now.
That's a great point. Thank you so much, Coach Joseph.
Thank you.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time and good luck this weekend.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys. And like I said, everybody who's played this week, good luck to you. Let's go. Let's keep that SWAC going.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, now we go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, and Coach Hampton, we sincerely appreciate your patience. Once again, for our media participants, if you do have a question for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Good morning, Coach Hampton.
Good morning.
Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, just kind of assessing your team coming out of camp.
Obviously, we've had a really good camp. Been in about 3 weeks. The players have worked hard. Coaches have done a good job of coming together, kind of figuring out what we are as a football team. And now we get an opportunity to go out there on Thursday night to see what we have as a football program and see if we made improvements from last year. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everyone on campus are well. Thursday night, a golden opportunity to showcase your brand and play on a big stage, Arkansas game. Just talk about offense, defense, and special teams and just going in.
Well, obviously for us, just kind of like you heard some coaches say when you're playing a bigger opponent, obviously, man, you're going to be some men down. We got 63 scholarships. They got 85. But we're excited about the opportunity, with our offense. We got a new offensive coordinator that came in. So we're excited to see how we look. We got some returning starters back that played last year, ready to take that next jump. Defensively, we got some really good players that came back from last year's defense, and hopefully we'll be able to grow and make improvements in that unit. And obviously, we had a second team all preseason SWAC punter back. Hopefully we don't have to use him very much as we did last year. But again, we feel good about our football team. Everybody does. First game of the year, right? But we're excited. And as I told our kids and I told the coaches, this one game won't define us one way or another. Obviously, you don't want to play an SEC opponent first game of the year, but that's the hand that we've been dealt. And so our kids are excited about the opportunity to go out there and showcase our brand.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
Yes, sir. You too.
Next question goes to Tanner Spearman.
Hey, Coach, hope your week's off to a good start. Obviously, UAB and Arkansas just going to be the second ever meeting between these schools. Of course, Arkansas for a long time didn't play in-state opponents. Now that they do, and you have a chance to be a part of this matchup, for you as an Arkansas native, what does it mean to you to see this matchup and be a part of it when it wasn't possible for such a long time?
Well, obviously, that is the excitement, just to be able to say you're playing the best team in the state, and then you get a chance to go out there and kind of see where you are, where you measure up. And so that is the exciting part about it. Obviously, for our fan base, it's important to them. I think some of them have expectations that we're going to go in and we're going to score 100 points and we're going to shut them down. And obviously, I want them to keep that confidence and I want them to expect great things from us. But we're just trying to go in there and shorten the game and make us some plays early to put a little pressure on them. And then we know where the thing kind of get a little jumbled is when you start playing O-line, D-line play, and they kind of wear on you. But again, we're excited about the opportunity. And I'm glad everybody throughout the state, again, you said it's only the second time we played them. And I know our players are excited about the opportunity to be able to measure up and to see where they stack up with a great team like that.
Coach, if I could follow up on that, obviously last year we saw UAP women's basketball go to Fayetteville and win. We saw the baseball team play very well against a top 2 ranked team. Have you guys talked to your players about those games at all to say, hey, UAP athletes can play with these guys in Fayetteville?
No, I mean, that don't have anything to do with us. Honestly, when I was at University of Louisiana Monroe was NLU. We beat Mississippi State when they had Eric Moe. We went to Kentucky and beat Tim Couch. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's football at the end of the day. I got to do my 111. And so, yeah, you can look at how the basketball team beat them, but that don't really got nothing to do with us. It's football, all right? It's 11 men against 11 men. And now, at the end of the day, you're talking about 60 minutes. You got to look that man in the eye for 60 minutes and whoop him time and time again. So we're excited about that opportunity. And as I told our players, want to take one play at a time, want to play as hard as you can for as long as you can. Don't ever quit. And at the end of the day, I told our players this, and I told our coaches, I just want you to be able to look at the guy in front of you and let him know, hey, it's a battle, and you ain't going to beat me one-on-one. And so that's where the team game comes in. So we got a lot of kids that feel like they can play big-time football, so they'll get that opportunity. But again, everybody, David and Goliath, whatever, it is what it is. It's football. At the end of the day, the ball's going to get spotted, and our young men have an opportunity to go out there and show everybody what they can do on the national stage, and we're excited about that.
Thanks, Coach.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Hey, how you doing, Doc?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Prior to this game, you named Makai Higgins as your starting quarterback. Will you be playing multiple QBs in this game just to do a litmus test for the upcoming season?
No, I mean, Makai Higgins won the starting job. He won the starting job last year. And the only reason that we have multiple quarterbacks, and I didn't let you guys know, Makai got hurt. And so he was never fully healthy after the first game of the year. So it looks like we were playing musical chairs. We wasn't playing musical chairs. The young man couldn't do what he needed to do. Obviously, you saw him the last game of the year. He can run. He can throw the football. He's a really good football player. And so sometimes kind of glass half empty, half full. So on the outside, it looks like, oh, they just playing quarterbacks. Well, no, he had injuries. And so now he's fully healthy. And when the kid is fully healthy, he can play. He's one of the best quarterbacks in this conference. I believe he's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. He was a 4-star kid for a reason. And so hopefully we can keep him upright and let the man do what he do. We got a really good offensive system in place. We got some really good weapons that he'll be able to use to his advantage. And so we're excited about him and excited about our offense as we move forward throughout this year.
And follow-up question, playing on a Thursday night is a short week. How are you getting your guys mentally prepared for this game right here?
Well, it's the first game of the year. The game was supposed to be on Saturday, but they changed it. I mean, that's out of our control, but it is what it is. I mean, we just start, today's our first day of class, so that's a good thing. We only got 2 days of class, and then we drive up the road to go play the game. So at the end of the day, man, what's it, Thursday night, Wednesday, it don't really matter. It's football. All you do is you count backwards, right? Make sure you get the kids a day off. You got a Tuesday practice, a Wednesday, Thursday. It all adds up, right? And again, they're excited because now you don't really got a lot of schoolwork because it's just the first couple of days of school. So they can go out and relax and play the game of football, not worried about having to turn in assignments, right?
All right. Thank you, Coach, and good luck.
Appreciate it.
We'll take one final question from Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Earlier you mentioned it wasn't exactly ideal for you guys to start the season against Arkansas, even though they are an in-state opponent. Why is there trepidation there about playing an SEC team for the first game of the season?
Not any trepidation. I'm just saying, like, when you playing a team that has 85 scholarships, okay, let's do the math. They got 85. We got 63. We brought in 50 new players, okay? They got their same team, all right? They've had their players the entire summer, okay? We didn't have our players the entire summer. So it's not ideal, right? But it's football. We ain't going to complain about it. I'm just asking, like, if I had my way, I'd like to play them the second game. It ain't my choice, okay? We don't really care. Spot the ball, let's play. So you asked the question, that's the answer for it. But our young men are excited about the opportunity. We need these kind of games, all right? It helps us financially. It helps us do the things that we need to do as a university. So we're excited about it. And again, I would always like a warm-up game before you play the best opponent, right? So that's my hesitation. But guess what? Thursday night, August 29th, 6:32 p.m. when the ball kick off, the Golden Lions will be out there on the field, and we're excited to play.
As a quick follow-up, Coach, how much input or control would you like to have over your preseason schedule moving forward?
I don't want any of it, okay? I coach football. That's the AD's job. Vice Chancellor A.D. Robson, he does a great job. So let's get that out of the way, okay? I don't want any input into the schedule, okay? Wherever he tells me to play is where we're gonna play. Our kids don't care, all right? I would like to have to be able to play a smaller school, then play a bigger school because it's the first game and because we got so many new guys. That's the only reason I said that. So let's just get that out of the way so we're on the same page.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Coach, as always, we appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Appreciate it. Great job, FAMU, and good luck to everybody this weekend.
Appreciate it, Coach. We'll now go to Mississippi Valley State and Coach Wade. I do see that we have Coach with us. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning.
Appreciate your patience, Coach. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, just kind of assessing your team coming out of camp.
Yeah, just first, good morning to everybody. Man, we came out healthy. You know, that's always the most important element, you know, going into a season, just coming out healthy. So we feel really good about that. One of the biggest improvement we've seen is just how connected our team is this year. You know, last year we had to generate time and create slots for guys to bond, to get to know each other. This year's been totally different. You know, guys, we see them walking to class together, going to the cafeteria together, going out for dinner. So that's been very encouraging. We're getting ready for Tennessee State this week. We're looking forward to that opportunity, a really good Tennessee State team. And like I said, we're excited about this opportunity to go down to Nashville. We played them in 2021, came up short 26-20. We 3-5 versus those guys. The last time we beat them was 1991, and we 0-3 in Nashville. So we got a lot to look forward to. We're excited about it.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everybody in the Delta are well. Talk a little bit about just the Valley Way and getting it started, and it's a brand new season, and you have a great opportunity, as you say, to go to Nashville and look to get one.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just, you know, about 12-month period, we came in hoping to do some things. We hope to be a good team. We hope to go out there and play the right way. This year, we believe it. There's a belief that we can go out and do things the right way. And there have been great acts, you know, over a 12-month period that kind of echo those sentiments that we can go out and do things the right way. So there's a great belief this year. And like I said, it was more hope last year. And we truly believe we can go out there and do some good things this year.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed week.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Doc, good morning.
I'm doing good, doing good. First game of the season against Tennessee State. Will you be, as far as the QB play goes, will you be going out with Tajarian as the sole starter, or will you be rotating QBs in for this game?
No, you know, as of right now, he's our starter. He's going to have every opportunity to go out there and prove that. You know, he would not have a short leash. So if you go out and make a bad play, we're not pulling them. So he earned that, you know, through his play last year. He started 8 games for us last year. And this fall camp, he hadn't done anything to lose that position. So as it stands right now, he will be our starting quarterback.
Follow-up question. You're going up against Tennessee State again with Draylon Ellis as the QB. As far as your defense go, how will you be able to contain him for this game?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's always a challenge having a dual threat guy like that. You know, we want to try to keep him in the pocket. You know, we want to make him one-dimensional. You can't allow a guy like that to beat you with his arms and his legs. So, you know, we can keep him in the pocket and make us beat us throwing the ball, then, you know, you can live with that.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Brandon King.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Brandon?
You hear me? Pretty good, pretty good. And kind of wanted to piggyback off the last question. As you look at, obviously, you're going down to Nashville to take on Tennessee State. Draylen Ellis aside, what are some things as you went through your preparation for Tennessee State? What are some things in terms of challenges that they may present that kind of jump off the film at you, Coach?
Well, a lot of it is unknown because they have a lot of new players in the building. So, you know, some of their top players are no longer there. So they lost a lot, but they was able to bring kids in. So you really don't know what they have on their roster for sure. You know, we'll find out a little bit more. Just defensively, you know, just having defensive coordinator with NFL experience, you know that they're gonna play a lot of man in early down. So, you know, winning one-on-one matchups is gonna be very key to us and our success. And they're gonna be good up front. They lost some dudes up front, you know, but they've been able to kind of reload and bring some guys in there. But you know, at Tennessee State, they're gonna have some good players. So we're looking forward to this opportunity, as I said.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, your Valley defense, the D-line, the linebackers, and then the corners and the guys back there. Talk a little bit about your defense and guys get an opportunity to defend. What do you see there with your defense?
Everything starts up front, you know, so, you know, we'll attack in recruiting with just bringing just better defensive linemen in here. So we've been able to, we can roll 12 defensive linemen out there we feel great about. So that's been a great improvement, just having depth at that position. It makes everybody else's job so much easier, you know, when you can put pressure on the quarterback and when you can stop the run. So DBs, we got some playmakers on the back end that we're very excited about, some kids we brought in. We got a couple of guys who started on the back end last year that's returning, so we're excited about those guys as well. But as I said, everything starts up front, you know, just being able to put pressure on the quarterback and being able to stop the run.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach Wade?
Charles, how you doing, my man?
I wanted to ask this question in terms of just looking at the growth of Tajarian Williams last year as a freshman. A lot of times it was trial by fire, but he was FCS National Freshman Player of the Week at one point last year. I wanted to ask, what is the growth that you've seen of him during the course of camp?
Man, that's a great question. You know, his greatest growth, and I think holistically as a program, you know, our greatest growth is what do you do after you face some adversity? You know, so with Tajarian, you know, one bad play led to a second and a third bad play. So the thing that we've seen that's been most intriguing is the fact that he can make one bad play and come back the very next play and make a big play. So in fall camp, he had a drop snap, and the very next play he ripped the touchdown. So, you know, that's been the greatest growth that we've seen, just getting him to understand that each play has a lifespan of 3 to 5 seconds. And when that play dies, you move on from it. So that's been his greatest growth, and hopefully, you know, we'll see that growth as a program as well.
Sure thing. Great insight, Coach. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. You guys went 1-10 last year. It's been well documented about that. You mentioned the growth of players on your team in fall camp. What's been the collective growth of your team leading up into the season opener?
Well, as I mentioned, you know, just in the opening statement, just kind of the connectivity, just being connected. You know, when you're connected and you're a true family, you know, even when you face adversity, you deal with it a whole lot better when you're dealing with people that you love and care about. So that's been a great improvement. And as I said, just about Tajarian, just being able to just put a bad play away, just throw it out your memory bank and move on from it. Out of those 10 games, we can count 8 games where it was one moment, you know, where something went bad and we never recovered from it. So I think that's the greatest growth of any program. You know, the difference between a 10-1 team and a 1-10 team is when you face adversity, how you deal with it, how you respond to it. So that's definitely by far been the greatest growth for us. And again, it'll be tested on Saturday. When we go to Nashville, something bad's going to happen, you know, just like every other game in the country, you know, but how do you respond to it's going to be the key.
And speaking of which, your schedule presents an opportunity to try to maybe handle some adversity. You guys play the first 4 games on the road. How will you try to prepare your team for that challenge?
Well, I mean, we don't look at all 4 of them. We look at we're a day-to-day process-driven team. So holistically, I mean, as coaches, we got to look at to make sure that we're doing things right to prepare our kids to be in a position to be successful, to deal with this 4 weeks on the road, not putting too much on those guys at practice and making sure we give them the proper rest. As far as the players, I mean, the most important thing for them is today. Just, stacking a brick today, winning today. And when tomorrow get here, we'll have that same mindset. And that's just our approach here at the Valley.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Coach. We've got a few minutes before Coach Graves with Southern's availability will start, so we will pause here momentarily. We are scheduled to have Coach Graves' slot of availability at 11:35 a.m. Once again, for those that just recently joined us, Coach Bubba McDowell with Prairie View A&M and Coach Cris Dishman with Texas Southern. Their availability has been moved to 12:05 and 12:15 after Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State. Coach Dishman and Coach McDowell are currently participating in a press conference for the Labor Day Classic football game this upcoming weekend. Once again, we will be back here momentarily. Appreciate your patience.
As we await the next coach, you guys take a moment to join and become a member of the HBCU Sports membership group. You can become either a level 1, a level 2, a level 3 supporter. And well, if you're really feeling froggy, feel free to make a super chat and we'll make sure to display your comment. Thank you for your support.
Once again, for our media participants currently joining us on our first head coaches session here for this 2024 season, if you do have questions for our coaches, please utilize the raise your hand feature. To get your question in the queue for our coaches, please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we've got additional time in our coach's availability, we will work our way back around to get additional questions answered. With that being said, so happy to be joined by Coach Graves with Southern University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, just kind of assessing your team as you come out of camp.
Well, we had a really good camp. I feel like the players really adjusted well. Thought that they did a great job of getting acclimated to the things that we were doing, and it was a carryover from spring football season. So, to see the carryover and then have the additions of the new guys come in and get acclimated to what we were doing, I thought we did a great job from everybody, from the coaches, support staff, to the players. Everybody was locked in, everybody was grooved in, and I thought we did a really good job of attacking the camp.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Jim Klein-Peter. You're on mute, Jim.
Veteran of 31 season openers in the past as an assistant coach, but are you going to take a moment to reflect before y'all play McNeese State on your journey and how you got to where you are now?
Morning, Jim. No, there's no time to take time to reflect on that now. I live in the precious present, so our focus is on McNeese, and I'll sit back after the season and reflect on how from whence I come. But right now, we're focusing in on August 31st at McNeese.
I meant like maybe before the game. Do you think you might take a moment to be in the moment and reflect on how you got there?
No, I think I do that every day. That's something that I do every day, and I'm grateful. It's a blessing to be in the position that I'm in. God's timing is always right. So right now, again, I live in the precious present. I enjoy, waking up every morning being the head football coach at Southern University, and it's something that I don't sit around and have to meditate or think about. It comes natural.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach Graves?
Good morning, Charles. How are you?
I'm doing well. I wanted to ask this question, and I know in football parlance, you guys are going to do what you're going to do, attempt to execute your game plan. But I wanted to ask, how difficult is it to prepare for this McNeese State team, a team that's had a staggering amount of roster turnover, including one of the bigger FCS gets in Clifton McDowell coming over from Montana State?
Well, the thing that helps us is we had a chance to watch them play last week against Tarleton. So it gives us an idea of what to expect from McNeese. Of course, you basically watch film and you break film down based on tendencies and game plan and things of that nature. Sure, they've had turnover just like we've had some turnover. So it's, you go out there and you go out there with the game plan based on what you've seen on film, and then you have to make in-game adjustments. I believe that's the big thing when you're playing a season opener or any game for that matter. You have to make in-game adjustments, and so that's what we'll do.
Okay, appreciate that, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everybody is well on campus. Talk a little bit about your quarterback room. What do you see there with your skill position players, in this case, your quarterback room?
Well, our quarterback room, I'm really pleased with our quarterback room. We have, of course, Noah Bottom will be our starter. We named them last Thursday. And then we have Xavier T-Set and Jalen Woods and Angelo Izzard, who's a transfer from Tuskegee. He's right here from Baton Rouge, across the street from Southern Lab. Noah's he's been around. He's been with me. He was with me when I was at Grambling, and so he also came here, and he's been around. He played last year in the Bayou Classic. He does have game experience in this conference as a player. So, we went through the spring. Went through the fall camp, and he competed and he came out on top. So that room is a room of many talents. There's some young men that all of them have different skill sets and some things that they do better in their own way. So we're excited to have a room of guys that uh, want to start, want to play, want to lead, and can lead. So that's always good when you have that kind of room.
Thank you, Coach. Have a blessed week.
Thank you. You do the same.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. You mentioned Noah Barnes is going to be the starter, and you mentioned also that he was with you when you were at Grambling as an assistant. How have you noticed his progression from then up until now as a quarterback?
He's matured. He's grown in every aspect. He's learned the position, and he's learning the position. Coach Willie Totten does a tremendous job with him. Having a quarterback coach of that magnitude can only help, especially when you're receptive and you want to receive the knowledge and the wisdom to get better. So to see him from then to now, it's been a plus, and it's hats off to him because he wants to get better. He wants to get better every day. He's not complacent and satisfied with who he is and what he's done. So it's always good when you have student athletes who want to do those things.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, the transfer portal. A lot of gentlemen have moved around the country to various opportunities and teams. When you think about the transfer portal and what it has done for Southern and what you guys are building, take us into that part of it.
Well, as I stated before, we don't use the transfer portal like a lot of schools. We tend to use it for a need to fix a need. We're still always recruiting. We always start with high school and the junior colleges. That's the base. That's the base. That's the foundation of our program, and then we'll plug and play the transfer guys where we see we need a fit right now. So that's how we utilize. That's the transfer portal is what it is. It's today's game. Um, it's here. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. So you got to be strategic. Everybody has their own philosophies and own ways of how they handle it. I just believe that the way that we're doing it best fits us here at Southern University. That gives us a chance to be successful.
Thank you, Coach.
Any final questions for Coach Graves with Southern University? Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time and good luck this week.
All right, thank you. And I want to say congratulations to Coach Colzie and Florida A&M on their win last week, and wish all the coaches well this week as we kick off this season.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right.
All right, so we've got a few minutes before those of you just has been moved to 12:05 and 12:15. They're currently participating in the Labor Day conference press conference there at Prairie View. So we'll be back here momentarily. Appreciate your patience.
Good people, there are over 150 people currently watching the live stream. Help us get to 100 at the very least before we shut it down. Thank you for your support. Currently at 89 likes, on 11 more likes to go. Hit that like button. We need just one more like.
All right, we're going to pause just one more minute just to make sure we're not missing any of our local Jackson affiliates wanting to log into the call. But we'll be joined by Coach Taylor with Jackson State next, approximately 11:55. And once again, if you do have questions for Coach, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we've got additional time allotted in our coach's availability, we will work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, we're going to pause here just for another few seconds. We'll be back joined by Coach Taylor here momentarily. Thank you for your patience. All right, once again, we're going to open it up here shortly for questions for Coach Taylor. If you've got any questions, please utilize the raise your hand feature to get your question in the queue. Please limit your questions to one initial question, potentially a follow-up question. If we've got additional time allotted, we'll work our way back to get additional questions answered. With that being said, so happy to be joined by Coach T.C. Taylor with Jackson State University. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. How's everybody doing?
Doing great, Coach, and thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could please start us out with an opening statement, just kind of assessing where you see your team coming out of camp.
Great camp. I thought it was a highly competitive camp. You know, the team and our coaching staff done a great job, you know, providing that energy and coming out executing every day. You know, just like any other training camp, it was a grind. You know, the heat was excruciating, but, you know, we came out pretty health-wise, pretty clear and cut on that. You know, didn't have any major injuries like, you know, on the football team. But, you know, we're ready to go. Looking forward to Thursday night against Monroe. You know, like I said, as far as the grind at camp, our team has really been doing a good job of getting after each other. So now it's time for us to line up as a football team and go out here and execute on a Thursday night against ULM.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Charles Bishop.
How you doing, Coach?
What's going on, Chuck? How you doing?
I'm all right. I wanted to ask this question in regards to inevitably when we start taking a look at these FBS versus FCS matchups, we talk about the quality of line play or defensive line depth, especially once you start going into the second half of the game. But speak to Jackson State's quality of defensive line depth going into this Monroe game.
Yeah, I mean, we got a great group of D linemen. A lot of football has been played on that side of the ball by that group. You know, starting with Jeremiah Williams, guy that's been in the program for a while. True Thompson, a transfer we had where he been here for a few years from Florida State. But that's what we did. We did a great job of going and recruiting and add to that depth. You know, that's what it's going to come down to in the end. What you talked about in the second half, I think you hit the nail on the head. You know, the team with the best depth in the trenches, you know, on both sides of the ball. But D-line wise, you know, we got a great group that can really get out the quarterback. They are athletic, strong guys, and, you know, and we put a lot on them. You know, we started the team with big men. The saying is big men lead from front, you know, and that's the group that we really lean on for as this football team. But excited about that depth in that group right there.
A quick follow-up question, and not to get into game plan, but you have a lot of toys in your disposal at the running back position. And I wanted to ask just in terms of looking at can Jackson State kind of control the clock against this FBS team?
It starts, you know, you was talking about the D-line. When you're talking about controlling the clock, you got to bring up the offensive line. You know, we got some big bodies over there as well. A lot of guys that played football in this conference that we are excited about. And then, you know, anytime you have that kind of depth at running back, you know, it makes, you know, play calling a little bit easier. That group right there with Ahmad Miller, Herb Mulligan, you got J.D. Martin, Travis Terrell, just some guys that can really move the ball and, you know, grind up some clock. And that's what you gotta try to have the mindset of, you know, try to control the football game. Don't let it get out of hand, you know, and get it to the fourth quarter. You know, if we can get to the fourth quarter, once we get there, we'll see, you know, where the chips fall.
Good thing. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Jackson are well. Last time Jackson State played at Monroe, it was 3 years ago. It was a close game, 12-7, the final. You guys were in that game. I know it was 3 years ago, but can that be encouraging going in, you know, for guys who are still on this team from then? Can there be any encouragement from that?
Oh, definitely. We got a few guys that was on that football team. Like you said, I was part of that coaching staff as well as some other coaches. And we were right there in that football game. You know, that's what I was telling Chuck just a second ago. If you can get to the fourth quarter, you know, you like your chances winning the game like that. It was a close football game, but, you know, guys know that we had opportunity to win. And that's how they're looking like at this game going into Thursday night. You know, if we go down there and play good football, don't turn the football over, you know, and create some turnovers as a defense, you know, we'll got a great chance to go win this football game. We know they got an entire new staff, new roster and everything, not a lot of information, you know, coming from them where you can go and evaluate their talent and, you know, see some, you'll have to make some tweaks to the game plan, but, you know, football is football. You know, it's going to be the team that can go out there and make the quickest adjustments in that first, second quarter, halftime, and come out and be ready for that second half of football.
Thank you, Coach. Have a great week.
All right, you do the same. Thank you.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good morning, Coach. Good afternoon. How you doing today?
What's up, Doc? What's going on? I'm good.
It's a great day to be a Tiger. So we have an unknown going on right now as far as with ULM, with the whole new coaching staff, whole new team. What are some things you're going to try to take in from this game on Thursday night?
Just try to gauge, you know, we're going to have some new faces as well, but filling in some new spots too on this football team that we're excited about going into it. You know, we talk about the physicality of our football team. This is a great game to gauge and see, you know, where we at for as physicality as a football team before we come back next week and have our home opener against Lane. But anytime you can go up against an FBS opponent, it gives you a chance to see exactly where your football team is, because, you know, that they got more scholarships. You know, they're at 85, we're at 63. But, you know, you talk about physicality. Are we going to be disciplined as a football team? You know, turnovers. Did the special teams improve? You know, did we get better as a unit for special teams? You know, those are some of the things I'm looking for going into this game.
And My follow-up question: we all know that uh, how a game goes is within the trenches on both offensive and defensive side of the ball. How do you feel as far as with on both sides of the ball, and what you think we could come up with as far as, like I said, on Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've been emphasizing in this game plan. That's one thing we can control is the line of scrimmage. You know, we've been emphasizing that with our bigs on both sides of the football. You know, offensive line, we talk about controlling the line of scrimmage, playing fast, playing with some tempo, you know, making the correct calls. And they got a good quarterback over there in Woodie, you know, and I've been constantly stressing it. Coach Quinn has been constantly stressing to our defensive line. You know, we got to press the pocket, you know. That's where this game, I think, is going to be decided. I think you're exactly right. It's going to be decided in the trenches, which team can control our line of scrimmage as the offense and the defensive line.
I appreciate you, Coach, and good luck on Thursday, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Doc. Take care.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, your quarterback room at Jackson State. Just talk about your quarterbacks headed into the game this Thursday and what that can look like.
We're gonna Jacoby and Morgan will be the starter for this football game on Thursday night. But we got, I've been saying it all year, we got two other guys, some other guys here that can really play. Cam McCoy, the transfer from Eastern Michigan, has been, you know, lights out in camp. Zy McDonald has been doing a great job. The transfer we was in, got in last year, that played in some meaningful games for us last year. But it'll be Jacobian on Thursday night, you know, when we take the field against Monroe. But all three have had, you know, phenomenal camps. They've done a great job, you know, over the summer, developing great relationship with the receivers, the running backs, as far as throwing the football around, making good decisions. That's what I'm always stressing to them, you know, protecting the football. But all three have had a great camp.
Good luck on Thursday, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it, John.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned earlier that you really wanted to enhance depth on your ball club. What position groups do you think you're most comfortable with heading to the season opener?
Pretty much, you know, just watching them all from camp, all phases look good to me right now, to be honest with you. But because, you know, we just have great depth at each position. Offensive linemen in here, running backs, receivers are deep, you know, and that's something, you know, I stress to my staff in recruiting, that I want to have each position, you know, depth-wise, talented and ready to go. But no group has really just jumped out because, you know, you have depth at every position. We got several punters in here, several kickers that can really, you know, kick the ball. So it's a great problem to have.
Yeah, Coach, it seemed like you wanted to kind of, I guess, protect yourself with that depth based on what happened last season with, you know, injuries and things of that nature. How has that depth kind of like changed the dynamic of the program, and how you hope it carries forward throughout the regular season?
It just makes me relax as a head coach. You know, you never see a lot of stuff coming like that, what I had to deal with for as last year. No excuses being made, but, you know, to have to go in a football game with no kicker and no punter, you know, that's something that I had to improve on. And, you know, like I said, that's why we built this roster differently, you know, with depth, and not just depth, you know, from those 1s, 2s, and 3s, just trying to get the most talented guys in there, you know, but just being ready for all those moments. You know, those are some things that I learned as a first-year head coach, and I'm prepared for going into this season.
I appreciate it, Coach.
All right, thank you.
Any final questions for Coach Taylor with Jackson State? Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time and good luck this week.
Thank you, guys. I'll see you next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so we're going to move forward here with our final two coaches working to get Coach McDowell and Coach Dishman on with us. They're just wrapping up the press conference for the Labor Day Classic. So we'll pause here momentarily. Thank you for your patience.
Want to thank those of you again for taking a moment to watch the SWAC Coaches Conference for week 1. In that last poll, 70% of you indicated that Jackson State will upset Louisiana Monroe this Thursday night. 70%. Do you guys really believe this? Are these J-State homers who are just expressing some faith? Or is it because of who they're playing in ULM, led by starting quarterback General Woodie? Your thoughts, your comments.
We appreciate everyone's patience. We are working to connect with Coach McDowell and Coach Dishman to conclude our coaches' availability. We'll be back as soon as we're able to make contact with them. Thank you for your patience.
As we await for the SWAC football coaches session to resume, SWAC Fan 100 does make a pretty good comment by indicating the showing that Delaware State had this past weekend against Hawaii, despite the challenges they had trying to get there and missing that initial flight. So I guess the question, just in an interim, and feel free to comment in the chat, does Delaware State's showing give you guys any inclination that Delaware State could potentially be problematic in the MEAC in terms of making a conference race? Your thoughts? Reading the comments here in the chat, Sean Wiggins says Hawaii's trash, so don't be fooled by that score. Delaware State ain't it. Well, Sean, that's just it. I mean, we never really gave Delaware State much of a chance anyway, right, to win the MEAC. And then when you put in consideration that Hawaii still is an FBS opponent, I can't sit up here and tell you that I expected Delaware State to perform the way they did. So I don't know.
Hello there, everybody. How you doing?
Appreciate you joining us, Coach. All right. Once again, for our media that are here in attendance, if you do have a question for Coach, we ask please utilize the raise your hand feature. We're going to start with Coach Dishman at Texas Southern. Coach, if you could please start us out just with an opening statement, just assessing your team heading out of camp and going into your upcoming game versus Prairie View.
Well, the team did a good job of in the camp, you know, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished there at camp. So now it's time to put what we accomplished in camp in practice to the game.
Appreciate those opening comments, Coach. First question goes to Jim Klein-Peter.
Yeah, Coach, I'm just wondering if you like the idea of having this game on campus now rather than at a neutral site. I don't mind the games, the home games that we're going to have with each other. I'm glad it's the first game, and we can get this one out of the way. That way, people won't be but when you're going to play, But like I said, and the team who win third down, win in the red zone.
Thank you.
Next question goes to James Hill.
Coach, I hope you and everyone on campus are well. When you think about the approach to a rivalry game in week one, do you just go in and play a football game, or is it different because it's the rivalry right off the top?
Well, it's a little different. You know, it's a little different because of the rivalry that the Texas Southern and Prairie View has. And like I told my guys yesterday, that even though this is a rivalry game, it's still a game. So just relax yourself, play ball, see what happens.
Thank you, Coach.
Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, it's not lost on you and your opponent that your very first game as a coach in the SWAC is against one of your good friends on the other side. What's that going to be like for you, and how have you kind of like thought about it leading up to this week?
Well, Bubba and I are going to always remain friends no matter what's the outcome of this game. Coach McDowell has been very instrumental for me to having this job. So I can never see us not friends, first and foremost. The only thing I'm mad at Bubba today about that he promised to pick me up, and I was sitting at home waiting for him, and he never showed up. And then I come here, he's sitting here at the press conference waiting on me. So I'm kind of pissed off about him on that.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Any final questions for Coach Dishman with Texas Southern? Final questions for Coach? All right, we'll take two final questions. First one goes to Richard Dean. You're on mute, Richard.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Coach, what do people on the TSU campus kind of told you about this rivalry? What are you going to expect? I'm sure you've heard a lot of stuff and how important this is for both schools.
Well, 1988, I have actually went to this rivalry when I was with the Houston Oilers. I went to the Texas Southern and Prairie View rivalry. But, you know, we all know it's a rivalry. We all know that every alumni want to win that game so they can have the bragging rights for the year. They want to have the bragging rights for the week. So we as players and coaches can't get caught up into the aftermath. We have to get caught up into our players. Our players have to get caught up into their responsibility. You know, just play your responsibility and do your job. I'm asking our quarterbacks to be quarterbacks, our running backs to be running backs. I hope my quarterback not trying to play running back and receiver. I'm asking him to do his job.
Coach, who is going to be the starting quarterback?
Probably Trey. I'm going to probably have two quarterbacks.
Trey McDowell and Miles McDowell are going to split.
Okay, Coach, I got one final question. What position group is looking the best so far?
Well, it's not fair to the rest of the team to say one group is looking the best. Every group is looking good, and every group has had this moment through camp. You know, one group are good, and the next day that he has is a Coach McDowell type of players. They're tough, they're gritty, and they are no nonsense type players.
Last question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach, there's a lot of curiosity surrounding you and how the program's going to look first game out. What can folks who follow your program expect Texas Southern to be based on going through spring ball and now fall camp from what you've seen?
Well, I expect to be some grinders. You know, I'm a grinder. My team's a grinder. And, you know, we know it's going to be a tough game. We know how to play all 4 quarters, first and foremost. They think they're going to come in here and blow this team out. It's not going to happen. We're going to have to play all 4 quarters. And it may come down to a field goal like it did last year. And hopefully on the winning edge of that field goal instead of on the losing edge of it.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time jumping on the call. We know you have the press conference there at Prairie, but we thank you for your time and good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right, we now go to Coach McDowell with Prairie View A&M. Coach, good morning, sir.
Good morning, everybody.
Coach, thank you for taking some time out of your schedule to join us. Coach, if you could start us out with an opening statement, just kind of assessing where your team is at coming out of camp going into your game versus Texas Southern.
Yeah, again, I'm really happy where we are right now as a team. You know, making that transition from spring to training camp and to where we are today. Guys have worked really hard against one another, and now we're just ready to go out here and play against somebody different, you know, and hopefully, you know, put on a good show come Saturday night.
Appreciate those comments, Coach. First question goes to James Hill.
Hey, Coach, I hope you and everybody in Houston are well. When you think about the rivalry and it kicks off in week 1, just talk about the mentality. And again, it's a football game, but all of a sudden, this is a rivalry right off the top.
Right, and the guys know that, and I make sure that they know that because, again, it's a game that, you know, we have to win. I mean, you know, against a good team, you know. And one thing I've always told these guys is no matter what happened last year, the year before that, whether we got 9 wins or 1,500 wins, you know, that's game 1. We got to go out and win this game. If we plan on winning this game, we got to play, you know, 4 quarters of football, you know, and that's in all units, special team, offense, and defense as well. So, and again, if we play as well as we've been practicing in camp thus far, I think we will be okay. But now we just got to go out, minimize mistakes, you know, execute the plays that are called, and again, get in the end zone. You know how we need to do it, be it kicking, be it running, be it throwing the ball. I think all those ties into, you know, 4 quarters of football, and whoever plays 4 quarters of football, I think is going to win the game.
Coach, that Prairie View fan base is special. You're expecting a packed house, but just talk about the supporters, and they'll be there representing.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. I mean, everybody's been talking about this game, you know, because, you know, you got 2 former NFL guys, you know, 2 brothers, you know, again, different mothers, of course, but, you know, we love each other. And again, this game is not about, you know, Chris Dishman or Bubba McDowell. It's about Texas Southern Prairie View, what we can put out there on the product we need to put out there on the field come Saturday night. You know, everybody's going to be here. It's going to be a packed house. It's going to be probably like a, you know, a homecoming for us, you know, and probably like a homecoming from them as well. So it's going to be packed. You know, if you haven't got your tickets, you know, we encourage you to go out there and get your ticket because they're selling out fast. And, you know, you're going to come to a stadium here at Prairie View, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. And then again, hoping Prairie View come out on top. Buddy.
Next question goes to Doc Holliday.
Good afternoon, Coach. How you doing today?
What up, Doc? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Coming out of camp, fall camp, you have a dilemma with naming who your quarterback is going to be between Cam Peters and Lucas Colzie. Who you running with for Saturday evening?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Lucas. Again, because Lucas have shown, and again, we got three, even Jaden Johnson. Jaden just as good. Everybody do something a little different. But the thing that Colzie has over them right, which is what I want to see. I know I was supposed to do it on Thursday of last week, but again, some things came up, and then just kind of want to make sure this is a decision that we want to make for us. The first guy coming out, and Colzie does things a little bit different for as the mentality wise of it, and maybe because he played on the big level. When he makes a mistake, he don't let it bother him. And that's what we've been seeing the last several weeks. So. Right now he's going to definitely be our starter. Not saying that the other guys won't get a lot of playing time.
And follow-up question: since this is a rivalry game, you're going into this game looking for 10 in a row. What do you think? What are you going to tell your team to keep them level-headed and try to play a complete game?
Again, if they just go out and execute what they're supposed to do, like they've been doing pretty much, the whole camp. And again, as I tell them, it's not 9 or 10 in a row. It's one game. We always break it saying 1-0. That's the mentality that we're taking. We're not even thinking about 9 in a row, because again, we don't know what can happen in the near future. So we're leaving the past in the past, and we concentrate on 1-0 right now. Against a team that we know is going to come in here, and no matter what the talent is on both sides of the ball, we know that two teams always play each other well. As you guys know, we had to win it, in a dramatic fashion last year.
All right. Try to make it down there this weekend. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Next question goes to Richard Dean. All right, I think we might have lost Richard. Next question goes to Kendrick Marshall.
Yeah, Coach. Your football team during your tenure has been on the brink of either winning a division, which you did last season, or winning the SWAC, which you came up a little bit short of last season. How will this game be a tone setter for your football team to try to accomplish that ultimate goal of winning the division and winning the SWAC?
I think it'll be a big tone factor. Setter, should I say? Again, I want these dudes to come out and play like we've been playing, football for a long time. Well, they've been playing football for a long time. Don't come out like you're rookie and don't know what to do, not executing your assignments and all that. So I want them to come out and play football the way they're capable of playing. They've been showing a lot of improvement, good improvement throughout the whole training camp. So again, if we come out again and just do what we're supposed to do, offensively and defensively, special team wise, we should be okay. We want to start fast, and we want to finish fast, because again, we want to get up on the guys, quickly.
And Coach, I know you mentioned that this game isn't about you and Cris, but it's kind of ironic that his first game is against you. What are your thoughts on that? And kind of like, did he talk to you before the season started about like how to go in this whole coaching thing and kind of like what to expect?
Yeah, I know Cris. Cris is a competitor, man. He's always been a competitor. When he first got the job, we talked quite a bit about the expectation of things are different here in the SWAC, and I just told him, you just got to go out and put your flavor into these guys, and it may be rough the first year, may not be. It just depends on how you go out and talk to these guys and get them to perform. And kind of let the chips fall where they may. So again, like I said, it's been fun to have him in SWAC right now, because we talk every other week. Just to stay catch up with each other and stay in contact with each other. Again, if he got any questions for me, how things are ran here in the SWAC, I'm always willing to share with my brother for sure, because again, I know he's going to have these guys going pretty soon, get them going pretty soon, like come in, put his stamp on it, and then let these young men, run free, and play some football.
And what was your kind of like words of advice to him about SWAC and kind of like what to expect in the conference?
I'm sorry, say it again.
Oh, I said, what was your kind of words of advice to him about the SWAC and what to expect in the conference?
Well, I mean, that's just between him and I. Again, I don't want to get into conversation about what he and I. But yeah, I just told him just come in here. Just expect the unexpected. Because again, here in the SWAC, things happen quick. Things happen that you think is not going to happen, and you think you got a good team, and then you go play a team that's not better than you. Then all of a sudden, you come out on the losing end. So he got to expect all those things in the SWAC. Because the SWAC is crazy, man. One minute you're up, then next minute you're down.
I appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Last question, Lionel Mosby.
So I know you've been talking this, whole fall camp and summer about that defensive line, how you beefed it up. Talk a little bit about both the linebacker core and also that secondary. Who are some guys that you're really expecting to come in and really show up big for you this fall season?
Again, we're expecting the whole D line to do their job. We went out, coaches went out. We did what we supposed to do. They did what I asked them to do. Get bigger, get stronger, get faster. We've done that. It's the first time since I've been here we've been this deep. Where we can rotate guys in on that D line. Linebacker, we've always been pretty good there. We got Schenkel, Warren Schenkel, Jay Harris leading that crew. They're the two vets back there right now, but we got some really, really good young dudes that, that's going to be here a minute, again, I say a minute if they don't hit that portal, because they're that good. So, secondary, again, that was one of our biggest things we wanted to, improve on last year. Freddie Bird, came in, didn't have a great season last year, but he came in during spring, and that spring transition into the fall camp, and he's been doing really, really well. And the thing I love about what Freddie's doing this year is he's taken on that leadership role, which I can see for sure that a lot of these guys are getting a lot better because they're playing together, they're talking much better together in that secondary.
And just a follow-up question. I know you just named Lucas as the starter for the first game against Texas Southern. Talk a little bit about the offensive line, because you also had 4 seniors this past year. Also had Allen transfer out to Toledo. So talk about that offensive line, right? Because you're going to have a full new starting offensive line as well. What are you looking for those guys on August 31st?
I'm looking for these guys to come out and play like they've been playing the whole training camp, man. Because again, they were, as well as that secondary, part of one of the groups that hadn't had a lot of playing time together. They're young, a lot of skepticism about what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. But I believe from what we've been seeing, Coach Green has really got these young men ready to go. Not like you said, not a whole lot of experience on that line, but again, guys learning their assignment is going to be key. Guys executing their assignment is going to be key. And, we got dudes in that backfield, that can make a tiny hole to a big hole real, real quick. So we just need them to, execute their assignment, get in somebody, lay on somebody, and let them run backs do what they do.
Thank you so much, Coach Bubba. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Coach, we sincerely appreciate your time and good luck this upcoming weekend.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. Thank you. This concludes our first SWAC football head coaches media session. Once again, a reminder, next week's session will take place on Tuesday in observance of the Labor Day holiday on Monday. So next week's session for our coaches will take place on Tuesday, September 3rd, starting at 10 a.m. Central. We thank you for each of our media members' participation in our first call for the season. Look forward to speaking with you again next week. Thank you.
This concludes our coverage of week 1 of the SWAC Football Coaches Press Conference. If you haven't already, we ask that you please take a moment to hit the subscribe button, and we will see you next Tuesday. Thank you so much for your support, your viewership, and we'll see you next time. God bless you.